We are developing skills, we are developing competencies. It's not English language per se. It is not the traditional way to check one word, this is a bad word, this is not a bad word. That's not the idea. You are living Islamic English, but it doesn't mean we are teaching you. You are teaching yourself Islamic English. Yes, it's part of the learning, yes, but that's not a grammar. And that's not, don't be so sticky on these words. Some people sometimes when they comment on certain things they don't understand, that means they don't understand what I've been doing here. If you talk about that the grammar of this lady was not that good, or the wording of that, no, that's not, this is part of your job to be working in self-directed learning teams together to raise the level of everybody. Just a process you have to learn. I would like you to understand that this is not English language course. It might be, but it's also a powerful way of learning. That will of course teach you Islamic English, and it teach you also, or teaches you other skills, other competencies. Okay? But I don't teach you here. I create an environment for you to work together, to develop yourself together. There is the weak, there is the mediocre, there is the advanced level, there is the native speaker, like somebody who is native speaker. It doesn't mean he doesn't need it. He needs it more than anybody else. Don't brag about being a native speaker like. Because many of those guys who claim to be native speaker like, they cannot stand in front of people and talk. This is a leadership course. It has lots of things. We are making you live da'wah together. You saw yesterday, was it fruitful? Did we learn anything yesterday or not? Yes. Fine. I want people to understand the concept, the process, the leadership. It's not a traditional way of teaching English language. And it's not even teaching English language. I want to understand that. Okay? So if some people don't get bogged down on the meaning of certain. Ask your colleagues. That's the process of query, how to ask a question.
You make mistakes, not
and if you make mistakes, this is the way to go. We all make mistakes, but we learn. If you leave this workshop learning 20%, I've gained a lot. And you've gained a lot. But the most important thing is that you have to raise your level. And at the same time, you are really going to work together in the future, hopefully. Now, you're going to be, now you've started knowing each other. You've seen the people who are of similar thinking coming here. That in itself is the biggest gain. So you have to make sure that we form, inshallah, I'll show you today what we do for the applications. And even if you cannot gather together, you can still, through the WhatsApp, I can give you exercises to do it on your own, and I can follow with you. But of course, it's not going to be easy for me following too many clubs. Okay? Anyway, let us go this, otherwise we'll be... Now this is the assignment. Just remember the assignment. Yesterday we talked about it. I will skip it. This is a model that you need to understand. I don't want to go deep into this because I'm going to confuse you. بس أبغاكم من اللي تفهمون يعني إحنا الآن ننشئ شيء يسمونه فرق التعلم الذاتي. شو اللي تحت؟ Basically we are developing something called فرق التعلم الذاتي. ها؟ لو أنشأنا فرق التعلم الذاتي, this is what I'm doing here. Forming all over the world communities of commitment through something called self-directed learning teams. واضح؟ هذه الجرام. This is it. SDLT يعني self-directed learning team soil. And I'm growing the seeds for the principal leadership to strengthen, to have a leadership from within. And through this leadership, we develop competencies. هذه اللي نتكلم عنها copy, principal leadership. وموجودة في الإعلان على فكرة قبل يتكلموا عنها. Okay? So principal leadership is exactly what you are doing now. Even though it's a deep stuff, there is a book about it, but this is exactly what we're trying to do, is to have people who have principles and leadership from within. They lead their own learning and they present Islam without me or without anybody coming to spoon feed them and telling them do it. We remind you about it. This is principle leadership. And this is what we're trying to do. And we grow it, we try to grow it through workshops like this. By changing the way we learn. By changing the way we learn. And we develop these competencies, الجدارات. Then of course we will have this learning community اللي انتوا نانس بالضبط. امس اللي سويته كله learning community. What we have been doing is basically learning community together, working together. That's the concept that we are trying to develop. And this is what every company now is doing. Many of these companies, huge, the best companies, the 500 Fortune, they do this big deal. So that you just, anyway, yesterday, Wanasa, the gorilla, you have a gorilla here. What I did with you yesterday, basically all of this. If anybody would like to develop a program, develop the people, develop colleges, establish universities, he has to do this. If he doesn't understand this, your universities, his universities would be the worst. If he This thing is telling us that there is no such a thing as only intellectual learning. Yesterday we did continual learning. Did we stop? We did not stop. You were working continually. And you did also intellectually. Did we do reflective learning yesterday? You close your eyes, you reflected, you imagined. It's a very powerful. If you don't include this in any education, you will fall short. You're not going to develop leaders or people right. And you're not going to develop, most importantly, the character. Did we do cultural learning yesterday? We talked about culture to present it to other culture. This is cultural learning. We're teaching your feeling. You were a little bit stressed at the beginning. You were a little bit not sure. Your feeling was being hit a little bit. Then you started improving your feeling a little bit, sorry. Okay? Little bit till you started standing and talking. That's the feeling there. You learn more words. You learn more expressions. You learn more. So your expressions started to increase. Okay, did we do creative learning? No. Yesterday there wasn't that much. Today there is that much. You're going to see this creative learning. Of course, in addition to some of the stuff that you see, that I've discovered. And of course, all of this comes under self-directed learning. Did I do anything yesterday? I didn't do anything yesterday, by the way. Basically, you were learning, you were reading, you were summarizing, you were reflecting, you were talking to each other, you were communicating with each other, and that's a process that unfortunately many people forget. And that is where we try to strengthen the communities, where people start knowing each other. And this is what is lacking in many of the societies in the Gulf here, and even abroad. And this concept is called learning communities. The organization is among the learning organizations. A very powerful concept. This is just lots of model. Okay, so this is just what I wanted to do. So what you're going to be doing and continue doing today, exactly in line with these things. Okay. And of course, the moral ethical, because this workshop is anchored to the moral and ethical, and it is the best moral ethical because ethical basically learning, because it is anchored with the guardian values that we human beings are supposed to follow. Now this is the objective of what we have today, to improve Islamic English cross-cultural communication through going deep today. Insightful what? Upward learning. You're going to go upward learning today. And understanding of doubts and presenting them to other cultures. My interest is not the content per se, it's the whole process of going deep and learning. So that you have more insight into one misconception. And of course, when we finish today, we're going to have deeper understanding of more misconception, because every table has got one misconception. We have about 13 misconceptions now. Exactly. And we're going to be working together, all together today. You will see that we're going to be moving. Of course, in the case of the women, they will be moving on their own, and the men, they will be moving on their own. Then I'll start again, see how we can arrange it. Or if the women have no problem, we could just go through the rotation all together. So it will be 13 times 13. It's going to be 12 exactly rotation coming to this. It's going to be tough stuff. Anyway, that's it. So that we can start. I don't want to go into this. This is what you are trying to do. Now, every table should have a knowledge manager and a good writer. So where are the knowledge managers? Can you please stand up, knowledge managers? So we said already that knowledge managers, every table should have not a facilitator, because he's supposed to write and organize the flip chart. Somebody with reasonable handwriting. You have there 8 tables. I think check. Can you check? Huh? You have 8 tables here, I think. Can you double check this? Do you have a flip chart there? Maqsooda, please, can you double check? So you have number, ladies, please, table number 1. Ladies, table number 2.
4 people, 4 tables.
Yeah, it's better for 40. Table number 3. You are table number 4 there? 4. You are table number 5, and you are table 6, and you are 7. Something is missing there, but you need to, because I think the flip chart, you need to check that this is the right number. Okay. You need to have a knowledge manager. Let's have knowledge manager. One table is missing, that means we need to renumber that. طيب. من معاك؟ معاك حد؟ طيب لا خليك معاك.
وهنا وصلنا لكم نهاية المقطع. لا تنسوا اللايك، سبسكرايب، كومنت. مع السلامة.